With the rise of many social media in the past decade, apps like TikTok have brought on a new wave of taking something that was once unknown to the vast public of the internet and bringing them to the forefront of people's For You pages, educating the masses on many genres. Video games, music, sports, shows, and almost anything else you can probably think of has at least some fanatics posting about said underground or unknown thing on TikTok. TikTok promotes these more underground facets easily, with their algorithm making it almost impossible not to get popular, whether the content is quality or not. This brings us to the topic of today's video, that being the many controversies and accusations throughout the Sigilcore community. Before we get into this video, I need to discuss what Sigilcore actually is, as many, myself included, do not know what this type of music goes by. As a matter of fact, it was kind of tricky to find out what the genre was called. But I digress. Sigilcore is an EDM rap subgenre that was created in the summer of 2020, taking huge inspiration from other genres like cloud rap and hyperpop. These songs contain stutters in vocals and beats, with seamless transitions between sped up and slowed down parts of the song. The alternative style gives an edgy flair to the genre, the Sigilcore community mainly being pioneered by artists like Lucy4, Sigilkore, I butchered that, Barely Human, and as of more recently, people like Odetari or Connie. This community's immediate surrounding circle veins from TikTok. These artists' songs will be plastered across the platform. Whether it be for edits, thirst traps, or almost any video in general, these songs would be used. The edgy flair brought a nuance to the app's algorithm, one that TikTok users craved. But with TikTok, Twitter alike, not everyone can always be content with something. There always has to be a problem. This mentality being another catalyst for one of the negative connotations surrounding the genre as a whole. For an app that essentially revolves around the usage of music and videos, and literally derived from its predecessor that was known as Musical.ly, listening to music that had been popularized on TikTok is seen as a cardinal sin, and would label you as someone with a TikTok music taste. Personally, I know people that you would describe as someone with TikTok music taste, and yes, it's fun to harp on, but using it as a main criticism towards someone's taste is a poorly thought out argument. These people mainly use artists whose songs have been popularized within the past year or so on TikTok, and you guessed it, Sigilcore is one of the most ran through genres on TikTok. So of course, it was labeled as TikTok music taste, and generally frowned upon by many. This leaving a dark mark on the community as of late, as it was once known as a nuanced, edgy style, now an overused, borderline cringe, TikTok appealing genre.
I'ma cut my hair into a bob and then cut my bangs straight across, then maybe I'll be human after all.
One of the more recent additions to Spotify is the feature of seeing lyrics of a song while it's playing. These lyrics have the possibility of being added yourself or by an AI. I think you can sort of see where this is going. Odetari is one of the most prevalent Sigilcore artists, making some of the biggest hits in that genre. And if you've been on the internet recently, first thought after hearing the word Sigilcore would likely make you think of an Odetari song. Odetari would also be the victim of the TikTok music taste argument, users either loving or hating his music. Surrounding the week of the 23rd of July 2023, users would point out lyrics on Spotify from Odetari's song Red Eyes Black Dragon Chain that was released in April of this year, showing that the no word that coincidentally starts with N was in the lyrics section. Although if you check Genius's lyrics, it would prove this wrong, being more accurate than an AI because it was actually provided by Odetari himself. But of course, considering it is TikTok we're talking about here, people ran with this, encouraging the deplatformation of Odetari. Odetari would then go on to respond to the situation with a video from his phone. This video has been lost to time as Odetari would delete all social media at this time, and all the re-uploads of the response and most evidence has been privatized. Guys, I promise, I'm not getting Mandela affected here. It exists or existed. I promise you that much. After deleting all their social media, fans were outraged. Odetari had been accused of something that they didn't do and was not a result of their shortcomings, something totally out of their hands as far as it stands. Luckily, as many fans came out in support, and Spotify fixed the original error, Odetari would return, dropping a new song with Barely Human in the week following. Believe it or not, considering Sigilcore's overall edgy flair and Odetari's questionable lyrics, songs, behaviors, and persona in general, Odetari has publicly admitted to practicing Islam. Odetari being an adherent of the religion, a Muslim. Many from the community came out outraged at Odetari, not only due to his vulgar sense of music and behavior, but also the fact that music is generally forbidden in the Islamic religion. Funnily enough, a vast majority of these claims would come from people who weren't Muslims and only had a surface level understanding of the religion. Music isn't inherently forbidden in Islam. Only music that promotes negative connotations or music that promotes haram ideals would actually be deemed as, well, haram. Now, of course, Odetari's music would fall under the haram category. But for one, Odetari openly admits to still practicing the religion, and that they aren't the best at it but are trying to improve. The point still stands that people assuming all music is banned from Muslims due to their religion comes across as uneducated and a surface level understanding of the religion as a whole. Now, whether you want to harp on Odetari for committing haram acts and going against the religion they practice or not, is totally up to you. As a pasty, straight, agnostic, evil white man, I don't inherently have a say in the matter. On March 22nd, 2023, Odetari released a song titled I Heart Latinas, playing a spin on the infatuation that the internet had developed for POC girls, especially Latinas. With the rise of the Odetari hate campaign, another allegation rose, accusing Odetari of romanticizing and glorifying the Latina community. Ironically enough, Odetari's girlfriend is allegedly Latina. Even so, this sort of love for a certain type could even be seen as a preference in a type of partner. Not to mention, people need to read the room, as the glorification of Latinas had been quite popular at the time, with many jokes surrounding the TikTok platform, especially expressing people's love for Latina partners. No matter how weird it may be, it's not a valid criticism to be holding this towards Atari, but not against literally the entire TikTok platform from March to April of this year. Lumi Athena is another very popular Sigilcore artist, making songs like Smoke It Off and others that were quite popular on TikTok. But as of recent, they have found themselves in some hot water. As of late July to early August of this year, Lumi Athena would be accused of being flirtatious and overall weird to girls in his social circle. This dive gets semi-deep, with a lot of different people coming forward with their experience. Lumi would be accused of being overly sexual with a 21-year-old while being 17, having e-sex with a 13-year-old while being 17, and being overly sexual and stalking a 7th grader while in 9th grade. Before I open this can of disgusting immoral worms, credits to Illusion, who initially made a downfall video on Lumi. It made compiling a chronological timeline and piecing screenshots together so much easier, and I'll be using their video to prove a point later on. So, a lot to cover. I mean, off the rip, this seems pretty bad for Lumi, but taking a closer look into the matter, it's not as people make it out to be. The first accusation of Lumi being sexual with a 21-year-old, very one-sided by the way, isn't really a point towards anything immoral.
Around this artist, Lumi Athena, Lumi had made inappropriate comments toward a 21-year-old, saying that he had, to her pictures, making them uncomfortable, given that Lumi himself is 17. So somebody well over the age of consent who can smoke, drink, and do all this legally while Lumi is 17 can't even fucking buy a house.
In this, you can clearly tell that Lumi is just sort of being weirdly, grossly sexual. I mean, being weird isn't against the law, and if you want to argue that Lumi being a teenager could get the adult in hot water with law enforcement, the conversation seemingly ended there. Or at least, the adult in said situation did not reciprocate the sexual notion. It is a responsibility of the adult in a situation like this to put the pedal to the metal and pull the brakes on any misconduct. Therefore, it simply couldn't have gotten them in trouble. If you wanted to argue that the adult might have not have known Lumi's age and that it could have gotten them in trouble, it isn't illegal to be sexual with someone who you don't know is under the age of 18. When sites put the "Are you above the age of 18" warning when clicking on the site, if a child chooses to lie, it is no longer in that site's hands. Obviously, in this case, there was no clarification of age, but I digress and I'm making this point solely for a hypothetical. Now, for the bad stuff. I mean, the big boy pants stuff. Strap on your overalls, ladies and gentlemen, because this is a doozy. Lumi Athena was accused of paying a 13-year-old for e-sex through Discord Nitro while being 17 years old. Pretty fucking weird, gross, and immoral. While in all technicality not illegal depending on the places they reside in, the difference in maturity levels is pretty extreme, demonstrated by the video on screen. Although I don't doubt this claim, the evidence for the situation is so bare bones and hard to use to corroborate the claims, as majority of the videos that were published exposing Lumi have since been privated. Researching this video has been like getting pressure washed by boiling gasoline, because every time you think you found someone with all the screenshots, their videos are private.
In DMs with another person I don't know who is, this girl was saying she could do anything for Nitro, and Lumi was like, oh, Nitro, we can have online sex, and not even care that she was a 13-year-old. And he was like, oh, if I just blow $10, that's a quick nut or whatever. There is no evidence of him saying this. However, multiple people have came forward, and then this is a different person in a server, because you can obviously see that this is a server now, or maybe a group chat. Yeah, like she wanted Nitro and was like, I'll do anything for $10, and Lumi went, anything, my dick will be happy tonight, word for word.
I sort of love how we go over these two testimonies and, well, sort of leave it at that. But luckily, I have the screenshot of the second person's testimony, proving it somewhat right. I'm here and I will do anything you want for $10. You're so blocked right now. Oh nah. Anything? Oh nah. My schlong finna be happy. Now, I'll stop though. I need edits. As you can tell, the visceral reaction coming off of my voice there, that was pretty painful to read. Despite this, as far as I'm concerned, this is pretty weird, sure, but it doesn't prove that he went through with what people claim he did. And I hate to use this argument because, well, it's pretty cringe and edgy, but if there's no real evidence, then this could hypothetically be brushed off as a weird, creepy, edgy joke. Do I doubt the validity of this user's claim? No. If anything, judging from Lumi's weird nature, I would bet my genitals that he likely did that shit. But to make a definitive claim is a bit too far. Hey everybody, editing Salty here. Forgot to mention this in the video because it's pretty much common sense with any situation like this, but the likelihood of these screenshots being fake is well within the realm of possibility. It's not out of the question. Faking Discord screenshots doesn't require like some otherworldly, out of human reach technology. It's very easy to fake them. Despite this, any evidence is better than no evidence. For instance, a TikTok was released recently claiming that Lumi is innocent and all these screenshots are faked, etc. Despite this, the video contains no proof whatsoever, and even after following up and asking in the comments, the user hasn't disclosed this. If someone were to cross-reference Lumi's actual Discord at the time or anything like that, it would show the truth, but at this point, that hasn't happened. Just popped in. Back to the video. Many of these screenshots are allegedly from a big expose server. This same server I've been looking for literally hours. Maybe my internet surfing skills are outdated, or this evidence is inconclusive if this is all they have for this claim.
This is with an IRL from school. He went to school and would catcall women, and he eventually got expelled from that same high school that he catcalled women at. Then there's another one. This is a voice memo of the same person stating that they had got suspended from their old high school back when Lumi and this person went to high school. I'll let the voice memo explain it.
He actually got me suspended because this was back when he taught them. Because he was stalking this girl in 7th grade when he was in 9th grade. He was being really weird. And I got suspended because I let him borrow my phone, right? He added the girl on my Snapchat and was sending her disgusting stuff off of my account. So I literally had to go in with my parents. It was so embarrassing, and we had to explain that that wasn't me and that I had let him borrow my phone. Because these people thought I was sending these disgusting messages to this 7th grader, and I wasn't. And you know what's crazy is that her name is literally Athena, so I'm not 100% sure if that's where he got the name from. Because remember, he thought the same thing, but we're not 100% sure.
So in this voice memo, the same person from before is saying that Lumi and a person at the time, from what it seems, Lumi was in 9th grade, and the person that Lumi was stalking was in 7th grade, which is a 2-year difference. To some people, it may not be weird. I'm not going to express my thoughts or concerns on that. Regardless, from your opinions, the fact is it was a 2 or more year age difference. Added them on Snapchat and started saying very vile and disgusting things that eventually got brought up to the school. It was that bad to where the school had to step in at one point and almost suspended the person in the voice memo for the comments that Lumi was making on their phone. If you are a person who thinks that a 2-year age difference isn't bad at all, that's good for you. I mean, I'm not going to say you're wrong, I'm not going to say you're right. But I think people who do think that it's an okay as long as both parties are consenting, at the end of the day, he's stalking her, sending vile messages, and ultimately harassing her to the point where she has to go up to the school and let the school know. This isn't middle school. This isn't like that typical drama where they snitch on everything to the teacher. This is high school.
Now, these claims in total seem somewhat legitimate. I'd be dumbfounded to find out this person is writing a 50 Shades of Grey fanfiction about Lumi Athena's high school experience. Once again, the lack of evidence is a bit of a problem. There is a voice memo of allegedly Lumi vaguely discussing a situation where he intended to date a senior at their school, and referenced a situation where he had done some act to case to someone younger, seemingly referencing the situation or a screenshot doing the same, these being the closest we have to any form of confirmation about this allegation.
Yo, there's seniors in the school now, right? But I'm gonna be dating a 12th grader. I'm gonna recreate the case that we did 3 months ago. But instead of younger, it's gonna be older this time. I'm gonna be a whole menace.
Whether you think that the age gaps in the two latter situations are wrong and should be deemed illegal from a moral standpoint, or whether you think that Lumi shouldn't be sexual towards people 4 years older than them, well, it's totally up to you. Aside from most of the allegations against Lumi revolving around some form of sexual nature, there is another accusation equally as sinister, that being that Lumi is an animal abuser. I've killed my own dog on purpose because he annoyed me and I didn't want him. My mom bought the dog and I fucking hated him. I poisoned him and blamed it on my neighbor. He chewed on my favorite shoes and destroyed a bunch of my clothes. He was small. It was a young pit bull. I kinda regret it, since I know I did it. My mom wasn't really sad about it, but user remove face would publicize these screenshots after a falling out with Lumi. When Lumi tried to combat these claims with a picture of a dog saying that he didn't actually do what he claimed, it was very easy to dispel. It's almost like if I never poisoned my dog. Notice how this isn't a pit bull. Absolutely vile. I have no true way of reading Lumi's intentions with these texts. If Lumi wants to pull up—
Oh, no. You see, the child, it was just a goof. It was just for laughs, you know? Just, why aren't you laughing?
that would show that Lumi Athena is a morally and socially inept weirdo, and if not joking, it would offer some serious threats to Lumi's character, portraying as him a creepy, e-sex with 13-year-old loving animal abuser. Whether that's the truth or not, well, until I see more, it's up for you to decide. From the seemingly blown out of proportion controversies surrounding Odetari, or the serious career-threatening allegations directed towards Lumi Athena, the spectrum for Sigilcore drama is a vast one at that. Although the difference in severity being pretty extreme, it still makes for an interesting story. How a community that was made for the sake of making edgy EDM songs has fallen from grace. But anyways, I've been salty. Sigilcore album dropping August 11th. Fuck this genre.
Time, baby, cut me, don't hug me.